and de-stress every Monday and Wednesday from 8 to 9 on Songs with Sav on Thunder 91.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's main event.
Where's the Friday?
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious...
On this blessed Friday, let us give thanks.
So, another Friday is upon us.
G'day, how you doing? I'm Rob Birdsey, nice to meet you all. Welcome on this fabulous Monday. You did hear Friday, I really need to change that, but life happens and I'm always busy, so there you go. Welcome to my show. This is Widowed, Trio, and Freedom. Widowed, I'm a widowed dad. Trio, I have 2 little kids. Freedom, I do this, tell my story to get it out of my head, maybe help you, help all of us out there. You can catch us on YouTube at Widowed, Trio, and Freedom. So I just told you all about that. So WTF, Widowed, Trio, and Freedom. Go there, see us live. We're going right now. It's actually on, so you would have seen the back end of behind the scenes. And today I've got a guest that I kind of grew into this situation while he was doing his show, and we've always rubbed shoulders but never really hung out and done stuff. But I've always admired the upbeat and outlook to life. And honestly, the way how he holds himself is absolutely phenomenal. And his name is Arza Marsh. And Arza, welcome to the show. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did say it right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, especially on such late notice too. When I first met you, I feel like, my first take of knowing who you are, you know so much about sports, and it was all sports trivia, right?
Yeah, I'm studying sports communications here at SUU. I really want to get into sports broadcasting, but my sports trivia, for some reason, I just really enjoy it. It's my special interest. I love studying about it in my free time, so I love going into sports history. I've actually gotten to the point where you can give me any year from 1912 to present, and I can tell you who won the major professional sports championships I follow that year.
Oh, that's awesome. So it's a bit of a memory for it then, huh?
Yes, I do have a bit of memory for it. I have a bit of memory for trivia in general. That memory also comes in handy because I love to act, so I can memorize lines fairly easily.
I've noticed, I've worked a lot with actors, a lot of actors that versus normal people that play video games and all that sort of stuff, but majority of the time you're pretty curious about the world, right? So do you find yourself always searching out information and things just on normal stuff probably people wouldn't look at? Yeah,
I love to learn. This is actually funny. Last night I was talking with one of my roommates at like 11 o'clock at night, and he was telling me about, we were just swapping stories, and at one point he's telling me about some of the historical research that he likes to do into like 13th and 1400s Italy. And he's like, I'm sorry I'm telling you all this and info dumping on you. Like, no, go for it. I love nerding out with you. It's the best part of having you as a roommate.
No, I mean it's especially that time too. That's actually a pretty significant time for the history of the world. No, it's just curious. It's fun to have such your fingers in so many pies. You're pretty well rounded. The one thing I've noticed about that, actually, it'll bridge you into your future. And you might seem a bit of a hindrance at sometimes around now when you're young, because people aren't really looking at you as a person that has knowledge that they want to know. But as you get older, you'll hold status and you'll have more. So it's the more you retain, the more you'll have for the future, right?
Yeah, I think that's definitely true, that as you grow older and wiser, as I am currently working on doing, stroke beard, people really tend to start looking to you for answers more. And so the more answers that you can learn earlier in life, not just in terms of like how to live life, but also how the world works, the more you'll be able to help people later on. And that's something I really enjoy doing, is helping people. So I guess that's part of why I love learning.
Okay. I love what you just said. It makes so much sense on many levels. I want to get. Usually, I start off with where were you born. So where were you born? Where did you grow up? Was mum and dad in the house? How does that all work out?
So I was born in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I was raised there as well in a suburb called Rose Park. I actually grew up in the same house that my dad did. Fun fact.
Wow.
It was kind of funny because growing up, my dad would be telling stories from his childhood, and when he'd reference the front door, he'd be like, "And I mean that front door." And I'm like, "Yes, Dad, you've told me many times."
Growing up there, and then coming through, because there's a few significant things that happened in your world that rocked it in many ways, which actually probably makes you so much more wiser in many sense, because it's what it does to you. But coming through, being there, you lost your father, right?
Yeah, it's coming up on 11 years this Halloween.
11 years
that he's been gone.
How old were you when that happened?
I was 15 years old when he passed.
Oh, that's such a testimony to who you are as a person, as a personality, because something like that, especially at such a crucial age. I mean, you're a big dude. You know, I mean, you could be really destructive if you really wanted to. You know what I mean? But I'm sure that's such a pivotal point of what you were going through, and then to lose it. Like, what happened? Can I ask that? I didn't even.
He had a lot of health issues. When I was 5 years old, he had a massive stroke that took him out of the workforce, and he had diabetes. He ended up developing dementia as part of that stroke, and he just had recurring health problems the rest of his life. So it was not out of the blue in any way, shape, or form. Okay, like, we knew it was coming.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the first shot across the bow? Like, what? I mean, did you physically just watch? I mean, I maintain weight because I watch what I eat, and I'm pretty diligent on it. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I want to be here for my kids. Like, that's and now that I'm the only one here for my kids, it's like I really need to be here. Does that chirp in the back of your mind then? Like, if you're growing up and you knew things were coming because you had such a touch and go life with health, like what happened there? When was the first shot across the bow with that sort of stuff?
I mean, his health was deteriorating even before the stroke, but a lot of that was just due to stress at work, because he was a mechanic and was not in the best employment situation. But really, the first major health event was that stroke when I was 5. His blood pressure was something like 210 over 180. And pretty much the only reason he survived was because he collapsed right in front of his coworkers, who were then able to call 911.
That's amazing. Is your dad much older than you, or is he?
My dad was, got to do some mental math here. He was 47 years old when I was born.
Oh, okay. Wow. So older in life.
Yeah, he's
was older than me now.
Yeah, when I used to go out to the store with him in public or wherever, people would be like, "Oh, you having a fun day with Grandpa?" Ooh. That's my dad.
That's how it is in Australia, to be honest with you. We don't, the way how people get pumped out of Utah, it's ridiculous. I mean, you've got all these generations and they're all having picnics together, which really you don't ever get. Like, it's a funny thing for me, especially me, coming from Australia, we usually date for a really long time. And then if we're going to get engaged, the engagement usually lasts for like 2 years. You know what I mean? Like maybe 2, maybe 5. And then we finally get together, and then we're finally like really the smart ones, the ones that can control themselves, I suppose. They don't have kids until they're way into their 30s. So by the time 50 comes around, maybe they might be having the inklings of grandkids coming through, maybe. And that's like if the other kids were right on it, but usually it's not. And here, by 50, you've got like generations underneath you, huh?
Yeah. Well, what you just described is not how my parents rolled at all.
Apparently not.
They dated for 1 year. Actually, my mom tells me that their first date, their marriage was 1 day before the anniversary of their first date.
Okay. That's not terrible. I mean, that's not unheard of. I've seen people in Utah get married within 3 months.
Yeah.
So I'll
like
take my hat off
by
to them.
Utah standards, my parents were not that fast. They weren't slow, but they weren't fast either.
What in the pecking order of siblings, do you have siblings?
Yes, I am the youngest of 7 children.
That's why your dad's older.
That's why my dad's older. My oldest brother is almost 17 years older than I am.
Dude, you're the caboose.
I am the caboose.
Well, that's good. I mean, okay, so that makes sense. I mean, I'm so sorry about your dad leaving so early, and Well, how old was he when he left?
He was 62.
Okay, I mean that's a life. To this day's standards, that's not much of a. I mean, he's not going into upper echelon, but
Yeah, he died pretty young, but he lived a life. He tried to make the most of it while he was here.
I love that. It's better than what my wife went through. I mean, she was gone by 42. She died at 42, and my kids at the time were 4 and 2.
Yeah, that's
crazy. And it's not. That's the thing now. So now I wear that burden through life, and I look at people, especially when you see people that are just not doing life. You know what I mean? Be in it and do it, or I don't know. Some people, I mean, do what you want, I suppose. But it's just sad to see that people that, let's say, of course they deserve to be here, but they're not being productive as like other people do. All the good ones die young. They're super productive, and the ones that are here and stay forever, and they're a menace to society sometimes.
Yeah, I definitely try to avoid being a menace to society.
Yeah. And I'm surprised because you've been through it. You've paid dues in many ways. And you were 15, right?
Yeah.
What did you do, man, to cope with that? Because that's a lot of weight for such a little kid trying to work out the world.
To be honest, it took a while for it to really set in. I think part of it was because I was actually recovering from a concussion playing football at the time that he died. Like I had gotten a concussion earlier that month. But in reality, I don't think it really set in until about the next March. And that was while I was doing my first high school play at the time.
Wow.
And it was opening night. I was kind of sitting in the house, as it's called in theater terms, sitting in the crowd seats. And I don't know exactly what it was. It might have been the fact that my parents actually met doing a musical, so my family has a deep connection to the theater already. But it was just in that moment that it really hit me. Oh, crap, he's really gone. And so it was a really big challenge to try and come to terms with that. And to be fair, I'm still kind of grappling with it. But I think the biggest thing that's helped me move forward is just trying to live the way that he lived. Which is a little difficult for me because of the dementia that my dad ended up developing after his stroke. His personality changed drastically.
I've heard about that.
And not necessarily for the better. For a while there, we didn't know it was dementia, and so we were wondering what the heck happened to Dad. But when it got diagnosed, we're like, okay, this makes a lot more sense. But I have my sibling stories, my mom's stories. I have stories about who my dad was before the stroke. And having learned those, like looking back, I can see glimpses of who he was poking through that dementia. And so just trying to live my life in the same kind of upstanding manner that he did, that's what helps me make smart decisions and not really let it weigh me down too much.
No, man, that's something else, huh? The good thing that you have, right? Now I'm going to compare you to my youngest son, Cole. So he was 2 at the time when his mum left, right? Going into the next couple of years after that, I would mentally make a choice to tell him stories about mum and tell him stories specifically about mum with him. When they did this, when they did that. And like I was planting seeds, man, like crazy. And I think it cracks me up. 2 years later, that little kid, it hit him. And he looked at me dead in the eyes. He's like, I don't remember these memories, Dad. I know them, but I don't remember them. And I don't remember Mum. And it crushes you to see someone so small realize he's missing something very important. And she was an amazing person too. So the good thing that you have is your brothers, right? You get along good with your family?
Yeah, we get along. We're super close.
That's good. I love that.
Yeah, we actually have a family text thread where every single day we try to send in something that brought us joy that day, just to share our joy with the family.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it all started because my mom and I think it was my sister-in-law started texting it back and forth to each other, and then it just started to grow and grow and grow.
Add people to it, huh?
Yeah, and eventually, what happened was that after a while, they were like, are you guys okay if we start sharing this on the family thread? And we're all like, yeah, sounds like a great idea. Good.
So it's an open-ended deal. I love that. Well, at least they have the memories and things that they can help you be with, especially coming from a pivotal moment of like, you were young and you had the stroke, right?
Yeah, I was 5 years old. I was just getting ready to go into kindergarten.
Wow. So from 5 years onwards, you've got this version of your dad that's not who he is.
Yeah.
To an extent.
I mean, I still have good memories of my dad from when I was a kid. Like, he read to me every night until I was in about 4th grade before I asked him to stop, because I'm like, Dad, I think I'm done with the bedtime stories. I just want to go to sleep.
Dude, that's really cool.
But he was ready to keep going until I was in high school, I swear.
Yeah.
The man just loved reading to his kids.
That's a good thing. That's yeah, most people don't, man. Right? I never grew up with no reading. I never grew up with a prayer in bed, you know what I mean? So that's things like that I think are amazing. I love those little moments with my boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad, while he may have been a far from perfect man even before the stroke, he always did his best to be a present father.
I love that. So now coming out of that though, and this is an undertone that's around you. And basically what I'm saying is it's your fuel now, right? It's your fuel. You pick up the baton, you carry it forward. When you won't pick up your dad's legacy until you have kids of your own. That might be in the future sometime, I hope, for you.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to have a family someday.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already had a little bit of practice in the parenting realm because since my older siblings are all so much older than I am, I actually have 14 nieces and nephews now.
Oh, so you're good at it.
And when I was living back home in Salt Lake City with my family, I was still living with my mom. The grandkids would come over about once a week and we'd help babysit them while their mom and dad went out on a date. And so I got a little bit of experience in the realm of parenting, taking care of kids. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm an expert by any means because it was mostly my mom and sisters who were telling me what to do.
Yeah. But that's okay. But it's something that it trains you to have that softer side of life. That's not easy to have. That doesn't come natural. It took me 2 years straight to keep telling myself I need to slow down for these little children. I come from a corporate world. I was traveling in planes and doing stuff to now you're at home. Now you're at home with kids all by yourself. Good luck. Like breakfast would take me hours to cook. I had no idea. Doing good now though. On point.
I'm glad you're doing well now. I know it's a bit of everything in life is a learning curve, honestly.
Yeah. I think that we get dealt these so many things, and when it's like you're getting pummeled by waves, right? That's what life is, right? Waves are coming no matter what. Good luck. And until you get those tools to know how to access it, that's why I think therapy is a good thing for people, man. Therapy, they give you the tools. You can leverage it. You know when you're down. You know when you're up. You know how to once you get into that point. It's tricky to get there though. As you're younger coming through. It took me. I mean, I don't know, well into my 30s to 40s. To wake up to myself in life. But for yourself, I never had a lesson like what you got. My lesson came, when my wife passed away, of losing someone that was really important to me. That's hard, man. Someone that you really rely on and someone that you really look up to and until you have those, like what I'm trying to say is, you have people in your world that when you have, because you just went through a bit of a down moment, right, over the last couple of weeks, whatever. When you have those moments, they can be so blocking, you can't see anything else. So to have someone to talk to you, to pull you out, or even like I was saying to you before we went live, you set it up with key people that are in your world. So when you're going through those moments, all you have to do is send them an upside down question mark or something, a little thing that reminds you to tell them, hey, I'm not reaching out. This is me not reaching out to you saying that I need help. Right. And it could be just and I have these set up with some friends of mine. It's like, dude, just send me something that gives me warrant to come and see you. You know what I mean? And I'll come and see you, or I will call you, or I will go out of my way to make sure you're good. To set these little triggers off, it's hard to do, right?
It is. And I think part of that is because, for me at least, a lot of my experiences growing up led me to feel like I was responsible for the happiness of other people around me. And it's something I am still working on unlearning.
Yeah, you're only responsible for yours, man.
And so it's hard for me to ask for help without feeling like a burden. Like I was thinking about this the other night, and it's just like, if I ever feel like I'm receiving more than I'm giving in a relationship, I feel like a failure. And that's something I'm really trying to overcome.
Good therapist.
Yes, I'm currently waiting on an appointment with CAPS.
Good. No, that's good. I think you need it. And I don't think it's a bad thing. But you can go there between, is it 11 and 12 every day?
Yeah. I think it's 12 and 1.
12 and 1. Okay. Well,
because I went in, I had a drop-in appointment to kind of help me start the process of getting actually set up with an actual appointment.
Great.
So,
how did it feel doing that?
It felt good. I mean, I've done therapy before, particularly when I was younger, about 10, 11-ish years old. We did some family group therapy because of some issues that we were facing. And so that's like my earliest experience with therapy right there. And then but
it's not really practical of you actually putting it into practice.
Right. I mean, I did some individual therapy later on, but I don't, this is for different issues than I did back then. So
no, I was just sort of curious on the experience of going through it. Like when I went through CAPS, they vet you out, right? They make sure that you're good to go and what you need and how much attention you would need out of it or whatever the case is. And
yeah, they go through I had my drop-in appointment, and then we scheduled a triage appointment, which is where you meet with one of the therapists who kind of gauges, okay, which therapist do we think would be a good fit for you?
Yeah, that's a trick right there.
And so I've had that appointment, and now I'm just waiting to be. I'm just waiting for them to pair me up with a therapist and get my first appointment. Yeah.
The one thing I will say about having therapists and things like that is it'll tell you inside. I eat therapists left, right, and center. Like I'll go there and I'll stay with, and it's basically my same philosophy for anything that I'm doing is I'm there until I realize that you have no respect for me. You know what I mean? And then, and that's usually how I work for people. I'll work for them until I realize that I'm not wanted or not respected. But the same with therapists. Some have their own ideas. Some are clouded by their own judgments. You know what I mean? But the ones that can actually really separate that from what they're going through and to really be there for yourself.
Yeah, the important thing to remember is that, therapists are people just like you. They have their own lives. They have their own experiences. And some of those experiences can make them better or worse suited to help you out.
Yeah.
So it's just about finding the right one.
Yeah. So how is everything going for you in school and coming through? You're in sports communications.
Yep. I'm a sports communications major, and I have a minor in film and screen studies.
Nice. Film's fun.
I love film, love movies. I love anything that tells a good story. So like movies, books.
So you're a storyteller.
I'm a storyteller. That's why I love theater, is I love being able to tell a story.
Yeah, you're usually a very happy-go-lucky person. And that's part of the reason why I brought you in today is because when I ran into you the other day and you weren't the person that I'm usually accustomed to. You know what I mean? Like you could tell you were hurting a little bit. And I'm so glad you come in to talk about it.
Yeah. October is the hardest time of year for me because since my dad died on Halloween Day, the entire month just kind of becomes a reminder and a little bit of a grieving period. No, the funny thing about him dying on Halloween Day, first of all, Halloween was never a huge deal in my family growing up. We did a couple of things, but it wasn't a big deal. My dad never really liked it all too much. And so it was October 30th when I was in class getting ready for my first class of the day when the phone rings and the teacher calls me up. Arza, phone's for you. Huh? Oh, no. And it's my family telling me, Dad's starting to go. Care Center staff is pretty sure he's not going to make it through the day. As we were driving up to be with him, I'm like, he's going to hold on till tomorrow just to spite the holiday, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he did. He went about 7 o'clock in the morning on Halloween morning. And I'm like, that is so Dad.
7 o'clock in the morning. Hey, this is like a good luck with today. Go on now. See you later.
No, I mean, the thing was, at first I thought I wasn't even going to go to school that day because I'm like, I'm not going to learn anything.
Yeah.
My mind is elsewhere. But after a while of just sitting around, I'm like, okay, even if I'm not going to learn anything, I need something to physically do to keep me occupied. Yeah. So I hopped a bus, went to school, got there about the middle of second period. And I remember walking into my class and being like, why the frick is everyone dressed so weird? Oh, that's right. It's Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Totally
I had completely forgotten it was Halloween.
Valid, man. Valid. So coming into that, so your dad was sick for quite some time in that area? Or is it like where he was bedridden before he went?
Yeah. So because of the dementia, we ended up becoming full-time caretakers for him. And then eventually it just got to the point where we couldn't do it anymore. So he spent the last 2.5 years of his life in a care center.
Okay, so there was help there.
And that care center, they were absolutely amazing. We loved the staff. They always treated us very well.
Yeah.
It was as good of an experience as you could get. And I mean, we went up and we had dinner with him at the care center every month just to make sure that we were still connected with him. We visited him as much as we could. Not as much as we would have liked to, but as much as we could.
But dementia's kicked in. How far was he with that at this stage?
It was pretty bad, actually. The last time he saw me when he was alive, because when we went and visited him on Halloween, well, the day before Halloween, he was unconscious the entire day. But the last time he saw me, it was because my brothers and I went up to the care center to watch the priesthood session of General Conference with him. And he was so far gone that he did not recognize me. He thought I was my best friend.
Oh, man. Ouch.
That one's a tough pill to swallow.
That's an ouch for a long time. I mean, look, everyone, I've heard of these stories. That's especially for people like lovers and things, you know, that the person that you've been taking care of for such a long time now doesn't know who you are.
Yeah, he didn't recognize me, and that hurt. It hurts to look back on, but at the same time, I don't hold it against him.
No, well, you can't. It is what it is. Man, that's yeah, not his choice. You got to realize that. It
was not his choice, and I mean, honestly, I'm surprised he even remembered my friend. But I mean, I've been best friends with that kid since kindergarten. Yeah. So
it sounds like the synapses is firing, just not firing right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know.
And the dementia that he had was particularly rough to deal with because it affected his frontal and temporal lobes, which those are the last ones to develop.
Oh.
So it was like he had regressed back to childhood.
Wow. That must be
like his rational decision making and like his emotional control. That's what was largely affected.
Oh, ouch. That's even worse in so many ways. Like it's because now he's not a reasonable person. He's chuck and wobbly. He's just like the rest of us.
But yeah.
I don't like, make fun of it. Just, you know.
By and large, it was... There were a lot of challenges that came with it, but at the same time, it was a lot of those challenges of supporting him and trying to figure out how best we could be caretakers for him that brought my family so close together.
How do you guys honor him now?
Well, we largely... Big way of how we honor him is by trying to live the way he lived.
Yeah.
Like this was a man who always wanted to help however he could. And he was the biggest teddy bear you could ever find. Like, this man was just a big softie.
I believe it looking at you, man. You're a great dude. You know, you're always got a great big smile on your face.
I picked up some things from him.
Yeah, you did.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But, so largely just trying to live the way he lived. Although we have a fun family tradition where every year on his birthday, so my dad absolutely hated grape flavored things. Like, he hated artificial grape flavor. Couldn't stand the stuff. He didn't really even like grapes. Like, green grapes were fine. Purple grapes, nope, couldn't do it.
Wow.
And it was a running joke while he was alive. Anytime we got something grape, he'd be like, how the heck can you stand that stuff? And so we'd be like making perfect eye contact with him as we asked for something grape flavored. Like at the dentist, when they'd be like, okay, we're gonna clean your teeth. What flavor polish do you want? And we'd be like, grape. And he'd be like, why? So every year on his birthday, we make sure to eat or drink something grape flavored to make sure he rolls over in his grave.
I love that. Well, it's honoring, right?
Yeah, and like it's becoming a bit of a Halloween family tradition to go up and visit his grave. Obviously, I can't do that because I'm here in Cedar and I don't really have the gas money to go up to Salt Lake.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
But it's not really like a hard set family tradition yet, but it's starting to become more of one.
Good. Oh, as you
For
guys,
every
you
Halloween.
guys will grow into it, and it'll be much, especially when kids and things come along, and it'll be great because then you'll start talking the stories, you know? Yeah.
We definitely have plenty of stories to share about my dad.
So, how far are you along in college? How's everything
I am
running
set to
for
graduate this spring.
you? What?
Finally!
Congratulations, man.
Oh, it has been a long time coming. I actually started SUU back in 2017.
Why has it been so long?
So, after my first semester, I felt very strongly that I needed to go home and get ready for my mission. So I went home. I started my mission papers in May of 2018. And after just about every conceivable setback along that path, I finally got my mission call in February of 2020.
Wow.
It took me almost 2 years to get my mission call. Then I served for about a year and a half before coming home early. Finishing my mission early, and then it took me about another year and a half to get my finances back to the point where I could come back to SUU.
Okay, let's talk. You just said a whole lot of information. What
I gave you the Cliff Notes
you
version
really did.
of.
Why'd you come back early from your mission? Usually they don't do that unless there's a
Mental health issues.
Okay.
So like I served as a proselyting missionary in Fort Worth, Texas for about a year.
Yeah.
And then I came home and I was a service missionary for another 6 months after that.
Okay.
And just difficulties I was going through with my mental health were just getting to the point where we decided it's best if we just end it here.
Okay. And you know what that is for you. How it seems like is it coping mechanisms or is it just missing the family and stuff?
I think a lot of it was coping mechanisms and just overall the stress of missionary life because it's a lot of work serving a mission. Anyone who tells you otherwise is straight up lying. Man,
I say to people, anyone that wants to go on a LDS mission, that's you getting taught by a fire hose how to sell and how to read people very well, because you're now pushing a product that most people probably don't want to know about it, and they probably really need it.
Yeah, and I mean, I also had the added difficulty of I served my mission entirely during COVID.
That's not.
I actually started in the MTC less than 2 weeks after it shut down. I was one of the very first to do online MTC at home.
Wow.
I was among the very first. It was a heck of an experience. I get to Texas in the height of COVID restrictions and really just spent my entire mission with COVID restrictions hanging over my head.
You got class now, right?
Yeah, I got a class coming up in a few minutes.
Cool. Well,
it's also not the end of the world if I'm a couple minutes late. He's okay with you showing
teacher?
up just a couple minutes late. Yeah. Professor Barton is awesome.
I love that. I do have one more question before you go. Is there anything you would like to touch on before we go? To the people out there, a message?
I just want to say, the experiences that I've had with crappy things happening in my life
Yeah.
and how you've talked about how I'm always this upbeat, happy-go-lucky guy. The reason why I make that effort is because all the experiences that I've had have made me want to make sure that my life philosophy is I always try and make sure that a person walks away from an interaction with me with their day being just a little bit better for it.
I love that.
And I think that that's the way that we need to live this life, to bring some more kindness into the world and make things better.
I say a similar thing to my kids. If someone's throwing shade at you in whatever way it is possible, it's going to swing you one way or the other, right? But if you take that negativity and you inherently throw that to the next person, you know what I mean, you're basically just passing on more negativity. So the more you can swallow that and realize, have some compassion, that guy's going through something, let that negative energy stop with you, let it drop, and then you can, and it's like what you're saying is now, you know, you're bringing positivity into the world. So leaving someone better than you when you found them is amazing. I feel like I'm a very similar person. Most people meet me, I mean, straight away after my wife died, you would see me smiling and I would be cordial, I'd be a nice guy and all the rest of it. But man, I was so broken. So broken. And most times you'll see me, I'm like, hey, what's going on? Really, I'm inside like, ripping myself apart. It's so not easy sometimes.
Mentally smiling, internally screaming.
It's running away from myself.
I may be sitting on the outside, but I'm running on the inside.
Yeah, running for the hills. I have one question for you, and it could do with anything and whatever comes to mind first. What makes the difference?
What makes the difference? The decision to try.
Yeah.
That is the hardest decision I have ever had to make in my life, time and time again, is simply the decision to try, even if I may not have the answers right now. The decision to try and make the best of it, move forward as if I have the answers.
Yeah.
And try to find them along the way.
Man, I love that. That's so cool. Well, that's it. That's our show. Thanks for coming in, man. I really appreciate having you here. I think, like what you say, the situation in your mind to show up and to try, like what you were just talking about, is phenomenal. Most people, they don't even show up. Half the time you just show up and you got a good chance of getting what you want.
Half of adulthood is showing up.
Just show up, guys. Just show up. Thanks for being on our show. There's another show coming up right now. We're gonna have Ryan Steinerkart sitting in that chair where you are. Not with me though.
Love that man.
It's gonna be with Art Chalice, and they're gonna talk a few. I mean, their conversations are actually quite fun anyway. So, thanks for being in my show. I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
We're at the top of the hour. You're on KSUU. Thunder 91 in Cedar City. Thank you so much for joining in. Have a great day.